Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm a 50-year-old man and my wife Ella is 49. We've been happily married until this sad situation happened in our lives and completely shattered the trust and happiness we had built together for years. We were happy and thriving, and I thought in my heart we would live happily ever after, but I guess I was wrong and made a huge mistake ever trusting anyone. I needed to talk to someone about this and to just pour my heart out because it's heavy. My heart can't make any sense of why my wife would betray me in such a manner. This October will mark 27 years of marriage. We have 2 kids. Daughter lives at home with us, recently married, while waiting for her husband's deployment to the Air Force. Our son is a Marine and lives on the opposite coast. We've had a rough patch for probably the last 6 months, and that is mainly based on my having an erectile dysfunction. To be blunt, my wife wants a lot of Essex and there's only so far I can go. I tried multiple pills and nothing has worked. I was even recommended some conditions by an African friend and colleague of mine to try and drink it for about a few days, but nothing worked. All it did for me was make my belly hurt me so bad, and it made me go to the toilet several times. It took me a visit to the doctor and a week to fully recover from that poison, and I stopped talking to my friend for good. I was very open-minded about it and used toys and tried to get creative, but for her, it's not the real thing. She was becoming more and more distant and actually lashing out at me, saying I didn't love her anymore or I wasn't attracted to her. She would not cuddle like she used to do happily, and at some point she didn't even laugh at my jokes anymore because to her, I was now her enemy. I've had my own struggles dealing with my erectile dysfunction, and I did turn her down for sex sometimes because I feel horrible about how it all goes down knowing she is not fully satisfied. It brings me shame to even think about it and write about it. I feel like a failure and less of a man struggling with erectile dysfunction, but the way my wife treated me made it even worse. My wife is on social media quite a bit and posts a lot. She doesn't post anything crazy, but we're different that way. I like to read what my friends are up to, but I don't post a lot while she is constantly posting. She started posting a lot of pictures of herself a couple of months ago, which typically get a lot of her friends telling her how beautiful she is. I noticed a guy was all over her posts, but figured, hey, some guy probably has a crush on my wife, but my wife would never engage in anything like that. So, during the last few months, my wife started becoming more distant while getting upset with me and suggesting I was the one not giving her enough attention. When the pandemic hit, she lost her job and I began to work full-time at home. I figured she might have been acting like this because she is used to being employed for over 20 years and has been with the company she lost her job at for over 15 years. Maybe she was begging to feel the stress of being a stay-at-home mother. I would come out of our office as much as possible during the day and come down to talk to her. She was clearly shutting me down and pushing me away at that point. We had a huge blow-up where she laid out everything she was unhappy about. I'm not giving her what she needs. She said she needs to feel closeness. She said she needs more intimacy. Longer discussion led to her saying our current Essex life was a big problem and she craves so badly what no longer works in me. I feel awful but don't know what else to try. Now, this is where things went completely sideways. 2 nights ago, we were talking and her phone goes off. I was right next to her and it was a Facebook Messenger message from a guy. This was the same guy who was heavily engaging with her on Facebook. It pops up right in front of us. The message read, "I miss you and I'm thinking about you." When I saw it, I was like, what the heck is that? She starts by explaining that he's just a friend that she knew growing up and he reached out to her on Facebook. She said they knew each other's families, so it really is nothing. What proceeded to happen throughout the night was unwinding a series of lies where I'd learn more and more. She told me they'd been talking for months, but just reminiscing about family and childhood stories. She went on and on about how he was a really good friend in childhood. and they attended the same high school where he helped her academically, and their families were really close before his family moved away. Then I asked her why the message he sent are so intimate if they've not heard from each other for so long, and he knows that she is married and he is probably in a relationship himself. That was when she confessed to me that she was telling him how she is struggling in her marriage, but she swears that was it. She swore she never moved beyond that, and he was just so helpful to her with advice on how to fix our marriage and to cherish what we have. Of course, I'm not a little boy and neither am I a child. I did not believe her lies for 1 second, and I knew something was definitely fishy. I knew she still was holding back a lot of things. Instead of showing my anger, I gently asked her to tell me the whole truth. She wasn't saying all she had in mind, and I could sense it. I pushed for her to come clean, and it went further. She really thought I was ready to forgive every nonsense she was going to spill, powering to the fact that she had been bullying me for months now about my inadequacies, and I had taken it in strides. And even tried to make her feel happier, but deep in my mind, I knew this was the last straw, and there was no going back if she as much as cheated with this man. She calmed down and told me about how they were exchanging fantasies about what they do to each other. She was breaking down, saying she just needed sex so bad. She was saying how we only have sex in the sense that we do as much as we can without penetration. She finally says to me, "I have to go out. I promise I'll be back, but I know this is horrible and I need to think." I almost lost it as she was walking out and said, "Please don't leave me," but I bit my tongue. I figured she was going to call a friend or something. Then I began to think deeply, and I know it sounds lame now, but I started trying to rationalize her cheating and think maybe what she did wasn't all that bad. I asked myself what the odds are that she is talking to this guy, and I went to the Verizon site and looked at her phone logs. Sure enough, it showed a number she had a 30-minute call with right after she left. I started doing every bit of research to find out who it was. It was getting really late, and I was super concerned about why she wasn't coming back. I texted her a few times, but she didn't answer. Eventually, I get a text around 2 a.m. that she was coming home. When she got home, I asked what she had done. She told me she went to see one of her girlfriends, and I asked her who she called. She said she called her girlfriend. I know her friend's number because our families are friends, so I said, "I know you made another call." She looked shocked, and I said, "Just come clean." She said when she left she called him to tell him what was happening, and there was nothing more. I pointed out that she has been continuously lying throughout the night. So at that point, she came out with all of it. So throughout the night and into the dawn, it all came out. She said they haven't had sex yet, but they were heading to the point they were planning, and she said it was definitely going to happen either tonight or in a few weeks. She said she was only waiting for him to get less busy and booked the appointment for both of them. I asked her multiple times throughout the night if it was going to stop, and she was invested in us. Every time I got a non-committal answer. She's confused. She feels lost. She told me that she wouldn't talk to him at one point, but he reached out to her the next day and they spoke for about 20 minutes. I don't have the first clue what to do. I really have no one to talk to. It's so weird that she is looked at as a pillar of our community, and I'm just a quiet, hard-working husband. If you were to be told that there was an affair going in between us, I guarantee everyone that knows us would want to know what the hell I've done. Maybe that doesn't matter, but again, it's just feeling like I can't turn anywhere. I don't even know how to wrap this up. I'm in so much pain. Like I can feel physical pain from this. My chest is hurting and I feel so sick. Then again, I've decided it's better I file for divorce. The embarrassment she has caused me is greater than the need to keep my family together. She has continuously made me feel like I was less of a man and like I wasn't doing enough when she is the one who didn't think twice about stepping out of the marriage and forgot her vow of 4. Better for worse. Channel comment, Poster, you did well to decide on divorcing her. I doubt there is anything she can say or do at this point that can make you ever trust her. It's time to move on. Getting into a relationship as soon as possible also isn't a thing to think about now. It's better to take time off from dating and focus on self-development. Regarding your erectile dysfunction, don't stop trying to fix it. There is always hope.